It's the Miller's Edge, on the Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. Hope you're having a wonderful hump day, a wonderful Wednesday as we get a little bit closer to Alabama kicking things off on Saturday at Bryant-Denny Stadium against Middle Tennessee State. The Blue Raiders coming into town, and they coming in with a purpose. They're coming in with a passion. I mean, I don't think they're going to be afraid or nervous, because they've been on the road to schools like Miami, getting a big win, and others. And so Rick Stockstill and the boys are ready to rock and roll. We want to hear more about Middle Tennessee State. So, of course, we know there's many people know more about them than we do. So we effort folks to help us with that. Sam Doughton is the MTSU staff writer, joins us now on the Miller's Edge. Sam, good Wednesday to you. Hope you're doing well, sir.
Doing fantastic, guys. Thanks for having me on.
We really appreciate it. So let's get right into it. Of course, I've known Rick for a long, long time, from his days back here in Columbia, South Carolina, and his son, who played quarterback there, was on the same field with Christian back in the day in little pee-wee football that we used to call it. But good man, good coach, been doing this thing for a long time. Just tell us about this team and this season, what they're expecting. 'Cause I know they've had some good years on the Rick.
Well, they're coming off their first back-to-back bowl wins in program history, which, given that they've only been an FCS team since the year 2000, pretty good track record there. And, with the changes in Conference USA this year, it's a team that they feel like needs to be in that championship conversation this year. Get into that conference championship game, being in the top two, the top three of the conference. They're predicted third in the preseason poll, and keep building on what they've built the past 2 years, because they've got some positive momentum on their side with facilities being built on campus as well as on the field.
Sam, appreciate you joining. This is Christian. I want to ask you, and I'm trying to find a respectful way to ask this, but a team like Middle Tennessee State, they're coming in, they're playing the big bad foe in Alabama, the Alabama Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Now, I know they went on the road and they beat Miami in Miami, but do they really believe? Is there like a consensus around the program, around the team, that there's a chance they could come and potentially upset Alabama in this home opener, where I want to say Coach Saban's like undefeated since his time here in home openers? Is there a belief that they can come and get the job done, Sam?
Oh, there's certainly a belief with that. I mean, one thing you got to understand about a lot of the players on this staff is they're guys with the chip on their shoulders, right? They feel like they've been overlooked, like schools like Alabama and other schools in the SEC, and maybe that's why they're playing at Middle Tennessee instead of somewhere else. And they take a lot of pride in wanting to prove people wrong in that regard. And so, going into Miami, nobody expects them to do anything Miami. They were 26.5-point dogs in that game, and I think at this point we're 39.5-point dogs in this game. So they well understand the challenge. And, if things don't go their way on Saturday, I don't necessarily think they'd be disappointed in that result as long as they play well and play to their ability. But they have a belief in themselves. And, after seeing what they did in Coral Gables last year, who am I to tell them wrong?
Well, stranger things has happened, right? We've seen the App State go up to Michigan and win those games like that. It happens, but very, very seldom we know that happens. So if you, Rick, you use that, right? You go and say, hey, what you just said, Miami thought they could just show up and, roll the helmet, the U on the field and win. That's not going to happen. But what I watched is this offense that caused Miami a lot of issues. I mean, it spread you out. It's taking advantage of the entire football field. They're gashing you in the run game. They try to hit you over the top with play action. Is this some of the similar things that you expect them to do against Alabama with the new coordinator, a lot of new faces on the defense? Do we expect to see some of the same things offensively?
Well, I think in an ideal world, the air raid scheme that offensive coordinator Mitch Stewart runs is all about finding space where the defense isn't. And so, if Kevin Steele takes away the inside run and takes away the outs, then you're going to go, look in the flats or something like that. So they're going to attack them where the defense isn't. And so the hard part, as Nick Saban pointed out in his press earlier this week, is that sometimes you just have to man up and win 4 different one-on-one matchups to get a stop when the offense gets rolling. And, Alabama has the talent enough to do that. I don't question that part of it. But, it's hard to do that consistently, rep after rep, play after play. And so in an ideal world, it is going to move like that. I don't think you'll see the plays over the top that Middle Tennessee were able to get against Miami. I think Kevin Steele is going to make it very evident to his guys that you do not let these certain receivers get behind you, like what happened in Coral Gables last year. And, so things are going to get changed up. But, Middle Tennessee feels like the offensive line's a little bit better than it was a year ago. They'll be able to run the ball a little bit better. And there's nobody better than the Alabama front seven to test that hypothesis against week one.
Sam Doughton, Middle Tennessee staff writer, is our guest right now. Appreciate him joining. Sam, I got to ask you, in terms of personnel, who should we look out for? Who should Alabama fans, look out for in this game that could potentially make a big impact, overall, whether on the offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball? Who are the impact players for Middle Tennessee coming in this football game?
Offensively, the one returning starting receiver in the sort of the base 4-wide that they run is DJ England Chisholm, who, you look at his measurables, he's listed, I think, at 5'8", somewhere in the 170s. Not a very big receiver, but an extremely fast receiver. Last year in that Miami game, he had only 2 catches, but they went for 169 yards total and 2 touchdowns. So he's got that afterburner speed, the ability to get behind the defense. Yeah, quite remarkable. And so he's somebody that even when he's not getting the ball, he's somebody the defense has to pay attention to and devote resources towards, which can open up opportunities for other guys. And then defensively, big defensive end, Zaylen Wood has got multiple interceptions as a team deflected passes at the line of scrimmage. Really disruptive player off the edge, and is somebody that can sort of set the line on run defense as well. So he's somebody I think you'll hear his name more often than not if things are going well for Middle Tennessee, because he's getting in the backfield and disrupting a lot of things.
Sam Doughton is our guest here, MTSU staff writer, joining us on the program on the Miller's Edge. Sam, Chris and I both, major college players, high D1 level and the NFL. So we understand and been a part of these types of games. But it's really kind of hard to see it from the MTSU side, because I know they did it against Miami, but Miami is Miami. This is not Alabama. I mean, this is a Nick Saban the last 15 years, have dominated college football, 7 national titles for him. I mean, this team is Alabama, and normally that age speaks something. Do you think Rick will have a hard time or easy time motivating his players to get ready to play this game? Because, it is Alabama, and it's in a 1,000-seat stadium. It's going to be a big one.
Oh, no, I think the players are going to be very easily motivated for this game because they want to play in those big environments. That's not something they get a chance to do week to week usually, given the schedule in Conference USA. This will be probably the biggest crowd they face all season. And there's a lot of pride in that, and a lot of pride in people want to do well. And for these guys that want to move on to the NFL, Middle Tennessee had 6 guys make rosters on roster cut day yesterday. This is a chance to put on some tape against some really good players that can get you in camp and can get you drafted. And, so the guys in the lineup understand that. And, one thing I'll say for Nick Saban, which maybe wasn't true of Miami last year, is I think one reason Nick Saban and Alabama have done so well in these types of games is because he treats these opponents with respect. He doesn't treat them like it's just going to be another game or a game where we can try some things out. He treats it like it's a serious challenge and puts it on his players to rise up to that occasion and set the standard, as y'all were alluding to earlier. And so I think that's why they tend to do so well in these games, because they don't look ahead to the next one. They really take care and make sure they take care of business each week.
That's probably I'm a little different. I look ahead. Christian gets mad at me because I say, they should win this game, and it's, Texas covered in. So that Nick Saban doesn't do that, right, Christian? He's doing exactly what Sam's talking about.
Yeah, you got to be where your feet are, man. You can't look ahead. You can't look behind. You got to be where you are. Be in the moment. Well, Sam, let me ask you, are you going to be attending the game? And if you are, is this your first time in Tuscaloosa at Bryant-Denny? I played Middle Tennessee in 2015. I don't know if we played them since, but will you be at the game?
I will be at the game. 2015 was the last time these two teams played. We have a coach on our staff, Christian, Dustin Royston, who I think was a GA in Alabama at the time. So I talked with him yesterday about what was like on Alabama's side going into that game. So that was a pretty interesting conversation there. It'll be my second time in Tuscaloosa, first time for football. I had the pleasure of covering the NCAA softball regional. Middle Tennessee was in Tuscaloosa for that. Took the Crimson Tide to a winner-take-all game last year. Had a great experience there. Tremendous hospitality by you guys in Tuscaloosa. Really enjoyed my time there. We were at a hotel right by the Riverwalk and really enjoyed that.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of a little bit closer to downtown. And So I'm really looking forward to it. Well, I'll be driving down Saturday. I'm sort of on the second team of our media team coming down there. So we'll get in the university car, take the 3.5-hour drive, and I couldn't be more excited to experience it. I've heard a lot of good things, and obviously, it's an exciting moment for everybody involved with our program to get involved in these types of games, and hopefully shock the world. We'll see what happens. Obviously, it's a tremendous challenge. They know that, but like I said, y'all said I've seen stranger things happen, and they feel like they have a game plan, and but one thing Rick Stockstill said in his press conference, I think is very true, is that these games are rarely won, but are quite often lost. And so if you can minimize your mistakes, you tend to do pretty well in these Week 1 games. And Alabama's done a great job of that when Nick Saban's been there for sure.
Sam Doughton, staff writer, MTSU. Okay, I'll close with this one. You kind of got me fired up. I'm a fiery guy. I play linebacker. Old school Lawrence Taylor type days. I get fired up. I like to give pep talks. So Sam, I'm putting you on the spot. You in the locker room. You in the locker room talking to this team. Give me just a semi pep talk / keys to getting, as you said, shocking the world against Alabama.
I tell them what I told y'all earlier. These coaches at these schools, they overlooked you. They didn't think you could play, and now you've got a chance to show them that they missed something in their evaluation process. Where they've got all these guys, these cats, they think they can play. These guys got all this attention, and a lot of you guys didn't necessarily have that coming up. But you've proven yourself so far to get to where you're at right now, and you've got a chance to prove to a lot more people who you are today. And so I think that's the central message is take pride in yourself. And when you take pride in yourself, you're taking pride in your team and your teammates, and you're going to put your best foot forward. And, they've got a game plan. They know what the team's going to run. They watched a lot of film on everybody on that roster. And so they're going to be prepared. It's just going to be a matter of execution and show them what you're made of in that regard. I'm not a super fiery guy. That's not really how I roll. That's why I stay on the riding side of things and, enjoy the slower sports usually. But I think that's the message, right? Is, they, like they said, a lot of guys on this program have a huge chip on their shoulder, and they want to show what they showed in Coral Gables last year, that they're a team that can play with these guys. Unfortunately for them, I don't think Alabama's going to be as disrespectful as the Hurricanes were last year of who Middle Tennessee is, which could spell some trouble. I just hope it stays close, and, good teams win, great teams cover, so that's what I'm hoping for this weekend.
No,
that's
doubt.
Good, man.
Sam,
that's
really good stuff. Man, thank you for joining. Before we let you go, tell everybody how they can find you, they can read up on you, and give us a little score prediction if you don't mind.
He ain't gonna do that. He gonna pick.
Why not?
The Blue Raiders.
That's fine. I'm just for fun. He could be right. Like they shocked Miami. He could be right. Why not just have it on?
Well,
okay.
We give him his props.
I'll put it to you guys this way as far as score goes. So last year, like I said, they went to Miami 26.5-point dogs and ended up winning by 14. So that covers about the entire spread. So I'm going to predict it goes into overtime, and then at that point it's a coin flip, right? So we'll go from there. Just flip that spread exactly like it was. Seems like a good bet on my part. But seriously, guys, if y'all want to find me, you can find my writing on GoBlueRaiders.com. I'm putting together a story today on our starting Mike linebacker Devin Curtis and sort of his journey here. He's a local kid, played high school ball about 30 minutes from campus, and his journey's gone through a lot of injury troubles, but is one of the smartest guys on the team, and his coaches and teammates have a lot of great things to say about him. I'll come out later today on GoBlueRaiders.com, the official Middle Tennessee Athletics website. And you can find me on X.com or Twitter or whatever we call it these days, at SJ Doughton, DOUGHTON.
Sam on X.
and that's generally where you can find most of my stuff. And, I love these weeks personally because I get to talk to folks like you guys, which I don't get to do all the time. There's not as many radio stations and podcasts. All these other sort of things I get to do, but appreciate y'all having me on and sharing a little bit about Middle Tennessee and where the team's at, because I'm looking forward to week 1, and I know y'all are as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
No
and please, when you see Coach Stockstill, just mention our names. Just say, Corey Miller. I promise you're gonna start smiling because he knows us very well. So we absolutely wish him the best. And he, like I said, I know his little son and watched him the lefty growing up. When I told folks way back years ago that he was going to be a really good quarterback, and he was. and it's a pleasure for him, I'm sure, to play for his father. And if you see him, just please tell him we said hello, and we wish him well.
Well, Brent's on staff here these days, so I'll mention Brent to you guys to Brent as well.
Yeah,
so,
tell them we always say hello. They got South Carolina roots, so we call that family.
That's right.
There's no question about that. Y'all have a good one.
Brother. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Thanks,
your
Sam.
time.